All right, Alicia, what's your biggest takeaway from last night?
I mean, I'm actually really surprised. The biggest, I guess, non-takeaway is how little the Democrats decided to go after Donald Trump. I think a lot of them did this because they don't want to get the bad nicknames from him or maybe have the negative attention from him on Twitter. Although I think it would be kind of smart if they did go after him, because if he goes after you in return, you might end up getting all of that free media time, being asked about it and getting donors from it, and then end up being the Democratic nominee. I think it was a huge night for Elizabeth Warren, and I think it kind of set up Joe Biden is going to be moving more to the left tonight than we've ever seen before, because as you said and as you mentioned, a lot of the candidates last night moved to the left on a lot of issues, and I think that how they reacted to questions last night is going to force Biden to do the same tonight, even though he, typically is the most moderate in this race.
Well, he claims to be a moderate. Yeah, I know what you mean. We've seen Biden cave to this pressure before anyway. That he says, "Oh no, I don't support taxpayer-funded abortions," and then when the radical leftist wing of his party says, "I think you do," he goes, "Oh, that's right, actually I do." So
when he gets a phone call from Alyssa Milano and the other Handmaid's Tale, out here in Hollywood, who are so oppressed, then he'll change his mind.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. I found it very surprising that they did not attack President Trump more. I think you're correct in that they might not have done that because they didn't want to get into the line of fire of President Trump yet. They don't want to be destroyed before their campaigns have started. I also
actually think if somebody does go into his line of fire, though, for a Democrat in the primary, that would make you a shoo-in, because you are going to be asked on MSNBC and CNN over and over and over again. You're going to be able to gain fundraisers from it, and victim mentality already works with the leftist mindset, so why not play into that?
Well, the argument against that, I think, would be that the leftists are already going to vote for whoever the candidate is, but you need to win over some of those moderate centrist people, the people who voted for Obama and then voted for President Trump, and being in the line of fire of President Trump may not win them over. I also think they didn't talk about the president as much last night because that doesn't set them apart from each other. It's actually it's one thing that they all agree on.
The one thing they all agree on.
Yeah, exactly, is how much they hate him. And maybe they also don't want to give away their attacks this early, a year and a half before the actual election. They don't want to, use all of their ammunition. I don't know. My biggest takeaway was that there is no moderate in this race. There's nobody. Even if the mainstream media claims one of these candidates are moderate, they're not. They are so radically far to the left. They make the Obama administration look moderate. In specifically, the one policy that might be the very worst is Elizabeth Warren. She said, she's the most realistic candidate, probably the top of that tier that was on the stage last night. She said she wants to abolish private health insurance. That would force 150 million Americans off their current plan, and it would cost 1 million Americans their jobs. And she's just like, I stand for that.